Alright everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. So jumping right into it, if you're familiar with my last video, you might have seen that I had recently purchased my dream car at 19, which was a 2016 BMW F82 M4. And I really love that car. I genuinely love that car. It drove well, it was quick, it sounded great. It was an enjoyable driving experience. And it was a good spec, and it was really cool to have that car at a young age. You know, it was cool to meet a lot of people using that car. But unfortunately, that video was posted around 2 months ago, and not too long after I posted that, actually, that car was unfortunately totaled by a landscaping truck. And yeah, that really sucked. It was really crushing having that happen. Especially after I only owned the car for a little bit. Still drove the hell out of it. I mean, I put 10,000 miles on that car in the time that I owned it, which was maybe like a 6-month span. And I really wish I got to experience it more before that happened. But I believe that genuinely everything happens for a reason. And I was able to actually upgrade out of that car after it was totaled out. I had the opportunity to upgrade into something even better, which I am so stoked about, and I'm so happy to record this and show you guys exactly what I've purchased and what I'm driving around now. And we'll take it for a quick coffee run, talk about how it drives, how it looks, how it sounds, all the good stuff, and yeah, do a little walk around of it. So introducing my new to me 2018 Porsche Cayman GTS 982 generation, and it is just an absolutely stunning car. So the story behind this car is actually that it used to be my dad's car. Eventually it ended up turning into more of my mom's car. She drove it a lot more than my dad did. And after my car was totaled, my dad was looking to trade this in to buy a 2014 R8 to replace it. And, I talked to him, and we were able to come to an agreement. So I was able to purchase the car off of him, and that money was used as down payment for the R8 instead. And so now this is mine. So it's kind of cool. It was passed down kind of, I guess, in the family. And once again, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm so happy. I love this car. I recognize that a lot of this would not be possible if it wasn't for my parents providing these opportunities for me. And although I'm still, I paid for it with my own money, definitely still would not be possible without the help of my parents. I'm really passionate about cars, so might as well share my experiences and my opinions and share what I'm lucky enough to have access to. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about what's actually going on with this car. So it's finished in racing yellow. We have black wheels, which I'm personally more of like a silver wheel guy. So maybe we'll see if that can be, changed. But the only mod done to this car is a AWE catback track exhaust. So you'll hear it start up in a little bit here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It sounds pretty mean. It's powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Car makes about 365 horsepower. It's mid-engined. It's pretty lightweight. I think it's right around like 3,000 pounds. So small, mid-engined, lightweight, fun sports car. Definitely a much different driving experience than that of the M4, which I will delve more deep into that as we get further on into the video. You see we have those big red brake calipers right behind the wheels, and on the inside, if I open it up and show you guys, I have a clean black interior with some yellow dials, sport chrono, and racing yellow seat belts. I really wish the car was cleaner for this, but I washed it like a day ago or a day or two ago, and then it rained last night pretty hard while I was out, and there was nothing I could really do about that. Car's a little dirty right now, got some dirt and some water spots on there, but we'll have to make do with what we have for now. But anyway, let me go ahead and start it up and give you guys some good revs. Let's go ahead and get started with the drive. Do a little bit of a coffee run in this car while I talk about exactly what makes it so special. So I'm sure you heard from the exhaust note that it's a pretty, deep toned 4-cylinder. And it really shocks a lot of people when I tell them it's a 4-cylinder, just because, first of all, not a lot of people who, know about cars know much about the Caymans. And, when people think of Porsche, typically they think 911, they think flat six, and so can't really blame them for not knowing that this is a 4-cylinder, but it is. And when people hear a 4-cylinder, they typically think of something more raspy, more kind of higher pitched. Think like Civic, right? When you think of 4-cylinder, immediately a lot of people's brain goes to Civic. And then those kind of have a more raspy tone to them. But this has a really deep tone to it, and it has some proper pops to it. It sounds good. Even stock, this car sounds good, but really the exhaust wakes it up a little bit more. It really is such a enjoyable driving experience. Now, the number one question I get asked when explaining this car to people or showing this car to people is, well, which one do you like better, the M4 or the Porsche? And to that, I have to say that it's two completely different driving experiences, right? It's really up to the person. What do you value more out of a car? If you value, the F82 was just so, crazy all the time. It was loud, and it was definitely, it had more power, it had more straight line speed, and initial kick to it, just because it had more torque. And so the F82 definitely had more immediate get up, whereas this kind of takes a little second, and then you start pushing into the power band and really start to get going. But at the same time, this is so light and so much more well balanced, and the steering is so precise and just turns in so much more efficiently, and the transmission is so smooth, and it really is genuinely so clinical in the way that it drives, whereas the F82 was just much more rowdy and all over the place. And that comes back to my point of what do you value as a car enthusiast? What kind of driving experience do you like? And for me, I love the way this drives. I love a good lightweight, doesn't need to have 500 horsepower, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be going 150 miles an hour to feel like you're rocketing down the road. This thing is so low to the ground, it's so small and confined that, you're going 80 and it feels like you're going 140, it feels so quick, while at the same time remaining so precise. And that's one of my favorite things about this car. Another thing I absolutely love about this car is the looks. M4 definitely, you could tell, was more of it was a fast BMW, and to most people, it's a cool car, it's oh my god, it's a BMW, whatever, right? But when people see this on the road, they're like, oh wow, that's a proper sports car silhouette, and it's a gorgeous silhouette at that. But anyways, let me go inside, grab some coffee, and we'll do a little rip on the way back. Driving this car always feels like such an occasion all the time. You hop in, you see those big yellow dials, and it really does feel special every single time. A Porsche is a Porsche, right? Everybody knows it's nothing new for me to come on here and say that this car drives well. That's to be expected. It's not a brand new car. It's not something that's revolutionary on the market. Porsche's been refining this formula with the Cayman platform since late 90s, early 2000s, ever since the 986, then the 987, 981s, and now 982s, obviously. It's just such an incredible car, and it sounds so great, and it's such an occasion to drive, and it's beautiful, it's eye-catching, and that dude's doing a wheelie. Let's do a little pull here. start to put the power down, it just keeps going. And you know, there's a little bit of traffic in front of me, but if I was to downshift and just carry speed through this corner with no problems at all. And that's the craziest part about driving this car, is that you never feel scared. You always have confidence into turns. And the noises, let's put the windows down a little bit. Feel like you're about to slip out, or the car's about to kick out on you, or that you don't have enough grip into the corners. Like you just always feel confident in how it drives. It's incredible. And I'm not saying that the M4 didn't give me confidence, but it was definitely like loose confidence. Like, you had speed, you knew you were fast, but you also knew that at any moment, if you drove it the wrong way, the car would fight back against you. Whereas with this car, it feels as though it's working with you to put down its power, and it's working with you to carve through a corner. And that's really what I love about this car, honestly. I genuinely feel as though the Cayman platform is just so overlooked, just because it's not the top dog or halo car of Porsche. But what a lot of people fail to consider is that at the end of the day, it's still a Porsche. It's not going to be the fastest in a straight line. It's not going to have you winning any drag races or anything, but that's not what it's meant for. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to what you like as a car enthusiast and your expectations for the car. I genuinely wish, a part of me wishes that this was a manual, like a 6-speed manual, and you could option these cars with a proper third pedal and shifter. But the PDK is such a great transmission that you're not really, it's a win-win situation regardless of what option you end up going with. And at this point, it's such a timeless silhouette. I love how throughout the generations of this platform, it's not like a radical change in design. Like, every generation of this platform just elevates the previous generation's design and just works with it. So that's what's been going on with the 911 too. That's what Porsche's great at, is not over designing and going crazy with some new facelift or whatever. That's something with BMW. I feel like every generation of M car looks vastly different than the last, whereas with the 911, right, like you look at these cars side by side and you can tell, okay, the 993 is an old 911, the 992 is a new 911, but they carry the same overall silhouette. And it's the same with this. You show a 987 to a 982 and it's obvious, okay, this is an old Cayman, this is a new Cayman. You compare something like if you showed someone like a E36 and you show someone a G80, they're such vastly different looking cars, and in some cases that's a benefit. People like a new design. You can tell that it's a brand new car. That's something that some people prefer. Whereas for me, I love a good classic silhouette. I love evolution of a design rather than radical changes to a design. And that's why I think this car is such a stunning, beautiful car. And it really is such a great all-in-one package. Even factoring in practicality, you have a frunk and a trunk, so you can fit a decent amount of luggage in here. If you really want, you can fit space. There's a little bit of space behind the seats as well. You can put some stuff in there. It's really such a cool, feeling knowing that the engine is literally right behind you. And with the adaptive suspension, you can turn this on. I'm going to leave it off for now just because I have some liquids in the car. But if you really wanted to, you can turn on the adaptive suspension, and it really gets a lot more harsh. It's honestly shocking, like how different the comfort suspension is to the adaptive suspension in regards to how much of the road you feel. Take this car to the track one day. That would be such a dream come true. Would be to track this car, really experience, you know, everything that it has to offer. I would love to take it on some good road trips out of the state to some proper canyon roads. It would just be a blast. I already know. I can't help but feel that I most definitely upgraded, and most of the people I talk to feel the same way. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna take this for another little spin. I'll see you all in the next one.